Well, hello everyone. Steve Dempster, Dempster Guitar Studio, coming back at you with the second video in this short series on some tips to help you improve your guitar playing during the upcoming new year. A couple of thoughts for you to think about. Wouldn't it be strange if the surgeon that's going to do some work on you, hopefully not, but let's pretend, doesn't actually know the names of the tools that they work with every day? They may be a very good surgeon, but they're just not knowledgeable about the tools that they use. That would be kind of freaky. Wouldn't it be strange, same way for a mechanic, a car mechanic, who works with them, various tools every day, is good with them, but doesn't know what they're called? That could be a problem if somebody's trying to work with that person. Wouldn't it be strange if somebody who's been playing hockey all their life, and does a particular shot toward the net, but never knows that it's called a slap shot? These are just, strange situations, I think, that would make you doubt their actual full ability. Well, it turns out that, as many of you know, in the world of guitar, there are a lot of people who've been playing guitar for a long time who could not tell you the names of any of the notes that are under their fingers on their fretboard, even though they're on the fretboard day in and day out. And they could still have very good technical skill. They've learned to manipulate strings and can play. But at some point, it seems, and this is my own opinion, it seems that not knowing the notes, and I know I'm nasal because of my cold today, so forgive that, not knowing the names of the notes under which under which your fingers are playing, at some level just doesn't seem to make sense. Why would you invest so much time on an instrument and not know the basic building blocks of music, in this case, notes? And of course, guitarists really go out of their way to avoid that stuff. Many of you who work with me know that I'm of the opinion that that should not be the case. And I get students starting to learn notes right from day one. I'm not talking about reading music. I'm just talking about being able to say what I'm playing on the fretboard. And of course, the payoff for that, if you do it, is that you understand chords better, you understand chord progression better, you understand the structure of scales better. All of that boils down to helping you understand music better. And so when students start asking very good questions, eventually, like, where do chords come from? Why are they called what they're called? Why is a scale called what it is called? How do you write a song? What do you think about when you write a song? I mean, any and all these questions at some point will involve some discussion about fundamentally the notes that make up the musical system that we work with. So today, in this tip video, I've got a very quick and short and very easy approach to helping you begin to do this. If in fact you haven't been doing this, I would encourage it fully and completely. We really do need to shift the operating system that guitarists have been working on blindly, which, tablature's all well and good. Ear training is essential, and it's all well and good. But the ability to know the things that you're touching is critical in order for an intelligent discussion among musicians to take place. Okay, so let's jump to the other side of the video, and I'll get you onto the fretboard and we'll go through this little exercise. See you on the other side. Okay, here I am back on the guitar here, and all I want to do is introduce you to a very short, quick exercise, investigation, to help you understand where some of these notes are on the fretboard, and I'll talk to you about the beauty of what I'm about to do as soon as I finish doing it. We're going to do everything on this video on the 5th string only. And if you've been studying the string names, you should know that that's an A. You should also know that in the world of music, we really only work with 7 actual letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's it. And some of these get sharpened and some of them get flattened for a total cluster of actual notes available to us that are 12 in total. But we're only going to deal with 7 of them, and we're only going to deal with the natural notes, only the letter names. We're not going to fuss about any of the sharps or flats. Okay, so starting with the letter A, 5th string open. It's as if you were playing the note here behind the white nut of the guitar. You're playing the note there. It's an A. Of course, after A comes B. And the question is, well, where is it along that string? I'm just going to tell you to get this going, and we'll investigate it a little more closely in another session. But I'm just going to tell you that given that the A is just a plain old open string, if you come up 2 frets from there, 1st fret, 2nd fret, there's your B note. Well, how am I supposed to know that, Steve? Well, you have to remember it. And when you play in that fret on that string, try to keep recalling that that's a B. All right? A to B, 2 frets apart. In music world, that's referred to as a whole tone. 2 frets. Some people just call it a tone, but I prefer the term whole tone. After B comes C, of course. This is a good one because C is just right next door. They're only 1 fret, or it's only 1 fret away. When you move a distance of only 1 fret instead of 2 frets, that's called, what's 1 fret? That's called a half tone or a semitone. So whole tone, 2 frets, semitone, 1 fret. See that? Semitone, tone, or whole tone. Okay, so we've got A, B, and C. From C, after C, comes D. That's a whole tone away, or 2 frets. I'm still on the 5th string. That's the only string I'm going to be on. The D to E is another whole tone, 2 frets. E to F, one of those special ones again where they're side by side. That's called a what kind of tone? Yes, semitone. That was just like the B and C thing, E and F. F to G is a whole tone. And then after G in the musical alphabet, we start again with A, so we're going from a G note to an A note. A couple of things to note here. You started on an A, and we ended on an A at that very unique point on the fretboard. Most guitars have this, where there's 2 dots located at the 12th fret. We'll talk about that more again in another session, but I want you to, there's a reason, therefore, why these 2 dots are there. But for the time being, I want to keep the video short for you and just get you into thinking about this. So here it is. A, B, C right next door, D, E, F right next door, G, A. From this point onward, if you have more frets, it's just repeating. Okay? So it's a mixture of whole tones and semitones. The point I want to make here is once you know the notes that exist, the natural notes that exist on this 5th string, you actually, in theory and in practice, I must say, actually know all the notes, all the natural notes on all the strings. Again, for now, we'll just go up to the 12th fret. Let's check this out. Let's go to the 2nd string, which hopefully you know is called a B. From your recall of what we did on the 5th string, you'll realize, or remember, that from a B note to a C note is only 1 fret, a semitone. So, again, pretend the B is being played behind the nut. Therefore, as an open string, you just come up 1 fret and you're on the note C. Yeah, it's a different sounding C, it's higher sounding, but we're not too interested in that right now. We're just interested in naming the note. That's a C. Again, more recall, C to D is 2 frets. D to E, always 2 frets. E to F, always 1. There's our F note, okay? It's not this guy. Different pitch, but it's still an F. My sweater keeps hitting the strings here. F to G, 2 frets. G to A, 2 frets. And then after A comes B, and we've arrived at that magical location again at the 12th fret. We started with a B, open, and we ended on a B at that magical point right there. Let's do one more string just to convince you. Let's go to the 4th string. Hopefully you know the name of it. It's a D. So the next note after D, coming up the musical alphabet, is an E. D to E, if you recall, is a whole tone, or 2 frets. Well, here's the D being played behind the nut. The guitar is playing it, but I'm faking myself out by telling myself that I'm doing it. And I go up 2 frets from there. 1, 2. There's the E note. It's not this one. It's a different string. It's the same pitch, though. Okay. That's an E. As you know, F is always right next door. And then G. And then A. These are all whole tones. A to B. B to C again, semitone, special place. And then C to D. 12th fret, that special spot again. Open string was a D. 12th fret was a D. You see what's happening here? So what you need to memorize, the way I think about it is, you just need to memorize between a B and a C note. They're always side by side, and so is E and F. Every other note are 2 frets apart. Consecutive notes are 2 frets apart, right? But we'll start again. Drill in your knowledge on the 5th string because it coincidentally starts on an A. We like to think in terms of the regular alphabet, so I started on an A. A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, G to A. And on my guitar, if I continue, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, way up at the top. That's the highest fret that I can reach on the 5th string. You get the idea. So, included in the video here, I've put in a PDF detailing that little procedure. The real trick here, to be honest with you, is as you play and find these notes, say them out loud. Very important. Cool. Hope that helps. Kept this one nice and short for you. Go in, start exploring these note names, only the natural notes. It might get you thinking, however, if there's a C here and there's a D there, what's the name of the note that's in the fret in between? Good question. We'll deal with that some other time. For the time being, just get really good at finding the natural notes. Okay, so there it is. Pretty straightforward exercise or process, if you will. The way I've always thought about it is just remember that B and C and E and F are always side by side on one string. The other consecutive notes have 2 frets between them. Get good at that first and find that stuff on each and every string. And I would just recommend doing it up to the 12th fret because after that it's just a repeat. And say these things out loud when you land on them. Some people are good at just mentally holding them in their mind, but I find the more ways you have of hitting a particular concept, verbally, draw it out, tell it to somebody, whatever it is, all of this helps to reinforce it in your mind. And it does require repetition. Know your notes. Let's get this process underway. Let's change the operating system that guitarists are working on and raise the bar for all of us. All right, there you go. Tip number 2 is done and finished. Use it, think about it. Don't let it sit there as just information. You've got to do something with it. I'll see you in the 3rd video. Thanks for listening. See you guys. Bye.